Good afternoon, friends. I think it's working now. What I did is what I usually do when things don't work. I turn off the machine and turn it back on again. I had to turn my phone off and turn it on again, and I think it's working now. All right. What was I going to do? Yay! I'm so glad you can hear me. I decided, looking at that last recap I decided that I didn't want anybody to see me looking like that. So I went and fixed my hair a little bit. See? Fixed. And I put on some makeup. See? And I feel better about myself now. So now I can tell you how everything went down Saturday in Duncanville when I went to see Jason in concert. I left here around 8 o'clock in the morning and drove to Duncanville. And when I got there, there was a parade in full force. And the parade was blocking off all the routes to the venue. So I had to just pull over into a parking lot and wait for a while. And after I waited for a little bit, well, I actually went in and, and cooled off in the air conditioning inside. I think it was a CVS pharmacy. And then I went and found the park where the concert was being held. And luckily I got parking right next to the stage almost. Just a little walk because I had to carry, because I had brought a lawn chair. I didn't know what kind of seating they would have, and I brought a lawn chair. I brought an umbrella. I brought a big, this is my, is that, that's, it's, there you go. Full of frozen water. I had put water in the freezer in water bottles and froze it, and then just stuck it in there and took it with me. And I had a little carry thing for all of those paintings that I did. Some of you have seen my paintings, and those of you who haven't, let me show you a couple of them. Oh, hold on. Are we having fun? You see that? That's one I did. And this one, we call it my modern art. It's like can you see it okay? There we go. I think you see it better there. A woman reclining in a chair. My daughter says it's a woman reclining in a chair with a cucumber avocado face mask on. Is that what it looks like? Anyway, there was another one. There was another painting also, and it was one of a baby, and it was actually one of Jason and Mandy's baby, Hazel. And I decided I was going to take it and give it to them if they wanted it. I mean, like it was the absolutely first ever painting I did. I'm not, generally an artist, but I sat down and did my best, and they really loved it. So anyway, so they got the painting, and right away, Madeline said she wanted to frame it and put it in her room. And I said, well, it's Hazel. And she said, well, Hazel's not old enough. She doesn't know. So anyway, I don't know where it's going to end up. Hopefully it ends up, somewhere where they can look at it and enjoy it. Anyway, so I got there. There was nobody at the stage then except for some of the production staff. And so I said, well, can I leave my stuff here while I wander over to where all the action was? The action was over where they had the water slides, and they had bounce houses for the kids. They had face painting booths, and they had places where you could buy food and drink. And I decided I wanted a snow cone. So I got a wild watermelon snow cone. And then I took it and walked back over to the stage. The way the stage was set up, there were rows of kind of aluminum, metallic benches, and there was absolutely no shade where those benches were. And I was like, I don't know if I want to sit there and watch the concert. It's going to be awfully hot. And since I planned to periscope the whole thing, I figured maybe it would be better if I was just moving around. Um, well, the band that went on first got there, and they spent some time uh, checking their mics, and then they about 11 o'clock they went on, and they only sang about two or three songs, but they were really good. I really enjoyed them, and I I broadcast a few things that they did, and then Mandy and Betsy and Madeline and Hazel came. They showed up. Well, actually, right before that, I saw Jason Daring, Jason's drummer, and I said hi to him. I said, "Hi, Jason," and he kind of looked at me, and then he comes over and he gives me a hug, and he says, I haven't seen you in a while." Oh, excuse me. And I said, "Oh, I know." And he said, "You know what? I'm used to hearing people say hi, Jason, when I'm working with Jason, and I just assume that they're not talking to me. They're talking to somebody. They're talking to Jason Castro." Well, Jason wasn't there yet, but anyway, he said. But I asked him where Julene was. That's his wife, and he said she was in the dressing room, and she was going to be over in just a little bit. It had been a while since I've seen her. I think I haven't seen her and Jason since a couple years ago in Dallas. One of the shows Jason did in Dallas. But anyway, so Jason gets there and he and I realized that he's got a whole band. Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's got, it's not just going to be Jason and his guitar. It's going to be Jason and a guitar and a bass player and a keyboard player and a drummer. That is, I thought that's going to be something else. This is good. I mean, this is a full blown concert we're going to get. And so I told him, I said, "Well, Jason, I'm going to be periscoping you," and he thought that was pretty cool. And so during the time I was periscoping, I would go, from one side of the stage, then I would go back to another side, and then occasionally I would have to go into the shade to keep from from getting heat stroke. It was so hot, and there was always a breeze, and I'm thinking if there hadn't been a breeze, it would have been really insufferable because I felt like half the time I felt like I was melting. I didn't realize until after I got a chance to watch the replay of the concert. I didn't realize that the sound changed as I moved from one place to another. When I was right in the front, when I walked out and sat down in the front row and broadcast it from there, the sound was really good. But when I got up and walked inside the speakers, the sound was, to me, it seemed a little bit more distorted, not nearly the true sound that was being heard there at the concert. But nevertheless, it was still, it's still great. Jason sounded great. The band sounded great. I was really excited because when he plays the full band, he actually pulls out his electric guitar too, and they did a set, and then the band left, and then Jason did some just acoustic, straight acoustic, like he with his ukulele. He did "Over the Rainbow," and then he did several other things, and then the band came back, and when the band came back, they just, it was getting close to the end, but they were, he said that he was going to do a song by somebody who he had always really, had been an influence on him. And I wasn't sure. Then he said Tom Petty, and I thought, is he going to do Learning to Fly? Because that's the one song we've heard him do. But he did American Girl. I mean, it was amazing to be there and to hear him do a new song. That was just really exciting. And it was just, oh, it was really good. And then another thing, then toward the next to the last song he did was Runaway, which is one of my favorites. And then, of course, he ended up with Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Well, if you watched my broadcast, if you were watching it as I was broadcasting, or if you watched it, uh, as a replay, the first thing he did was he did the Star Spangled Banner. And I mean, he does that so well. It was just amazing. And there were quite a few people there. I mean, this was like a Saturday, 4th of July in the park, people came with their kids, and a lot of them stayed over in the area where the slides and the bounce houses and the food was. But quite a few came. Once Jason started once he started singing, they came over to where he was, so that they had a merch table set up, and his mom Betsy was the merch girl, and quite a few CDs were sold, and shirts. And if just I think when I would pan around and you could see the benches, sometimes it didn't look like there were a lot of people there, but a lot of people opted to stay in the shade on either side of the stage. And so there were quite a few people there, more than it looked like if you were trying to gauge it just by looking at the people sitting on the benches. That was the place where it was so hot, and I would not stay there. Toward the end, I actually had to go over and get an umbrella and hold an big open umbrella in one hand over my head, and try to broadcast with my camera in the other hand. And I know every now and then, if you remember seeing the very end, you would see, my umbrella would slip a little bit, and it would be in the camera range. And well, just know that I was trying to avoid heat stroke at that time, because it was getting very hot. I was, melting. But I did the best I could, and I'm glad that those people who were watching at the time appreciated it, and I appreciated them looking in on the concert. And it's a very, very good representation, but it's not as good as it is if you are there. You need to come to a concert. You need to come to Jason's concerts. Any way you can, get there. Next time, I'm hoping that next time we do this, Brenda will be there, and Winnie will be there, and we can do a tag team Periscope maybe, so that one of us isn't having to do the whole thing. But anyway, afterwards, I got to talk to Jason a little bit, and he was telling me that as soon as all the Castros get back in the same general area, because I think right now Michael is in Florida, Jackie is in Spain, they are going to start doing some local shows to showcase their new songs and to get exposure. Well, I don't know when. I'm ready too, but I don't know when. But Jason said to be on the lookout. And I told him to come to Tyler. That's my go-to thing. Jason, come to Tyler. And he says, that's not a bad idea, maybe, So anyway, uh, so we've got that to look forward to, and I can't wait. It's just going to be so much fun. And um, I'll definitely keep you posted, Brenda. I'll be on the phone. Hey, guess what? Um, anyway, I really had a good time talking to Mandy. She's still the sweet, beautiful person that we always knew and loved from the very beginning. And Madeline, she is so cute. She just so cute. And I really believe that Hazel is going to have Mandy's eyes, Mandy's color. And she said, yeah, Hazel with hazel eyes. Anyway, um, am I leaving anything out? I can't think. Not sure what is coming up next, but I know that somebody's going to find out soon. And he's going to be in North Carolina, isn't he? This week? Next week? This week? Next week? Anyway, can't go there. It's either North Carolina or West Virginia or somewhere up that East Coast there. I would love to go to that because it's supposed to be this, but it's not going to be full band. I think I got the better part of the deal. I do. Anyway, so that's the recap. I know that Mandy got American Girl. She got that on, she periscoped that too, and she did it under Mom Matters. And usually they put their things on YouTube. So we need to be looking for that because American Girl was really something. It was American Girl, and then he did Runaway for. Well, I say he did it for me, but at least he knows now that it's a great song to do with a full band and you can really rock out. Okay, well, that's all I had to say about that. And I'm planning to put this on YouTube and then hopefully we can transfer it over to Copia, and it will be our first ever Periscoped recap. I'm a what do you call those people that? Anyway, I'm a trendsetter. That's me. Okay, guys. I'm glad it worked this time, and I will see you on the flip side. Goodbye.